advocating for a successful two-state solution in ways that aren't always supported by some other people in the Jewish community. And so what are the possibilities for coalition, short-term and long-term?
I think on the long term, I think is very good. If that problem can be resolved, it will reduce terrorism by 70%, and it will make for the possibility of real liberal, progressive coalition building here all that much greater.
No, I mean, I agree that we should continue to do the work, and especially with the progressive Jewish community on these questions. It's in all of our interest. And also, clearly, we need to stand up publicly against terrorism.
There is only one thing. I know I'm the chair and shouldn't speak, but it depends what kind of Palestinian state is created. If it's the one in Olmert's mind, I don't expect that it will resolve anything. It has to be one based on equity and justice. Yes, go ahead. Okay.
Omar Kader, I'm a past executive director of ADC. I haven't heard any comments about the struggles within the Arab American community between those who want to assimilate like the Irish and the Italians and not be seen and are fundamentally racist towards being aligned with the black community. You see that all across the board. And those of the others that want the distinct identity, get involved in the civil rights organizations and struggles. And most of the money is in that first group. They're third, fourth generation Arab Americans, fairly wealthy, established. And they're not going to join the Arab American movement.
I could say something about that.
Sure.
It seems to me that you're certainly right, but I think there's a generational difference that I'm seeing, is that the older generation often have that stance. But interestingly, their children or grandchildren are much more open and curious about their Arab ethnicity, much more open about the differences, particularly in terms of racial differences and religious differences. And they don't carry, if you will, the baggage that the older generation has. And I think that's a hopeful sign in terms of the community coalescing and dealing with this issue of assimilation, that you can be assimilated and yet you can have pride and political activism around given issues that are of interest.
Over here. You had a question?